Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live stream today. I know that we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. It's working. Last time we had some technical issues, so this week it is working. I just need to check the comments just to make sure that if you do create a comment, I can see it. So if you could just type in whatever platform you're on, whether Facebook or YouTube, just type in hi. I just want to make sure that the comments are coming through so that I don't miss any questions or I don't miss any comments from any of you as I am moving through this live stream today. So just say hi. I just want to make sure. Okay, Mark says hi. Dion says hi. Thank you. Okay, so the comments are coming through. Thank you so much. And everyone can hear me. Perfect. Well, welcome. The last couple live streams that we did, we went over how to do a hair assessment and then the types of products for curly hair. So today, what I'm going to talk to everybody about is the Earthtones Naturals products. We get a lot of questions about how to use the products, what types of products are best for what types of hair and how to use them. And so this is what I'm going to go over today in detail from start to finish. And then I'll kind of talk to you about the Earthtones Naturals philosophy in terms of how to set up a regimen and how to use the products and how to start and where to start. And I'll show you the texture, consistency of products, just so you're able to make the best decision for you when it comes to the types of products you're going to choose for your hair. The live stream portion will be the second half. So if you are on the URL or if you phoned in, you're going to wait just a little bit. I'm not going to set that up yet. I'm going to take a break after showing you the products to set that up, and then you'll be able to ask your questions. So if you are on the live stream, the live call-in platform, just wait a little bit longer because I'll bring you in afterwards. Everything should work well today. Thumbs up. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm excited about today's show. And I just want to get started. So again, if you have any questions, you can always type them into the comments, or you can call in or join the URL. You will not be on camera. We'll just hear you and I'll answer the question as best as I can. And Daphne, I'm going to answer your question in the second part of the show. The best shampoo. Oh, sorry, you're just commenting. Thank you. Best shampoo ever. Just wish you had more products for locks. Absolutely, I do hear you. We are considering a lock line of products, so stay tuned. I know a lot of our products can be used on locks, but we are considering some products that are specifically for locks. So that is something that, is in the works in terms of something that we'll discuss. All right, so let's get started. For those of you who maybe you're not familiar with the Earthtones Naturals line, I just want to kind of take you through the story of Earthtones Naturals, why it was developed, why I felt it necessary to create a product line, and who the products are for specifically, and then kind of branching out from there, who they can be used by and what each product does. All right. Okay. So how to use Earthtones Naturals products. So I just want to give you a little bit of history. So I started the product line, my goodness, my eldest is 12 this year. So about 13 years ago, 12 years ago, after my eldest daughter was born, just because at the time when I went natural for a few different reasons. I went natural because my hair was falling out from postpartum hair loss. And I wasn't quite sure, what to do. My hair was texturized. It was really badly damaged and processed. And I just kind of didn't know what to do with my hair. And so my eldest daughter was born. And for those of you who don't know, and I've told this story a few times, I'm adopted and I don't know who my biological parents are. So at the time, my eldest daughter, Nisa, was the only person in the world that I knew shared my DNA. And it was kind of like one of those moments for me, having my first child, and she looks like me, but she didn't really have my hair and she didn't really have my husband's hair. So I was really fascinated by her hair texture and really had a desire for her to embrace her natural hair as she grew up. And so that was kind of the impetus for me to cut my hair, to kind of be a role model for her, but also because I was experiencing postpartum hair loss. So I cut my hair and I cut it off really short. Like went to my hairdresser and I didn't want to do the big chop at that time. So she cut off most of it, but still left some length. But the length was still, it was thinning at the ends. It was damaged because it was texturized and there wasn't a uniform curl pattern. And so that same evening, I went home and I said to my husband, I said, just take it all off. So he took it all off really, 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 really low. And I freaked out. And I freaked out because I didn't know what to do with my hair. I didn't know much about my curl pattern. And so, like most of us, what we do when we don't know what to do with our hair, we consult the school of YouTube. And so I went on YouTube, looked at videos of women that had hair similar to mine. I know that we can get caught up with YouTube videos of hair that we wish we had, but it doesn't really do us any good if the person that you're crushing over and wish your hair looked like doesn't have your hair type and texture, because the products that they use for their hair are probably not going to work for your hair. And so even though I could appreciate other curl patterns and hair textures, you know, that's all I could do because I didn't have their curl pattern. So I'm talking about the wavies, the curlies. I'm a type 4. So my hair was really coily. And so what I would do is I would just go look at type 4 videos and see what those people were using, the types of methods that they were trying, the types of products. And I swear I purchased pretty much everything on the market at the time. And I gotta say, not much worked for me. There might have been one product that actually worked for me to define my curls. And I wasn't interested in twist outs. My hair was really, really short. So it was like a teeny weeny afro. The sides were really, really low. The top was really low. And I was trying to define curls on the top that I couldn't even see because they were so coily. And so I ended up trying a specific product that worked for me. It worked well to define my curl pattern. I could only get it in the States. And I would, purchase large quantities because I could only get it in the US. And that was the only product that worked for me out of all the products that were on the market. A lot of the popular ones that, and a lot of the popular brands that a lot of people use, nothing would work. And so I purchased that. And then as my hair grew out, it continued to work until it didn't anymore, until my hair started feeling really dry and really brittle. And at that point in time, I went on the quest to create the perfect gel. I thought I found the perfect gel in the product that I was using, but I didn't. So I went on a quest to find the perfect gel. And after much research and consultation with cosmetic chemists, etc., the curl enhancing jelly was created. Now, the curl enhancing jelly has gone through several iterations based on client feedback, based on ingredient availability, and based on the quest for the perfect gel. So the gel that we started out with years ago, about 10 years ago, is not the gel that is our staple product right now. It's been improved over the years. We started out with flaxseed and a different type of thickener, and then we've progressed to this particular formula right here. So over the years, based on feedback and based on performance, that product has been improved. But that was the kind of like the first product that we launched with. And then everything else came after that as I was trying to look for products for my daughter's hair at the time. Just for Me was the main product that I was using, and it was terrible. It did not work. It didn't moisturize her hair. And so I started creating products that would help her hair, and the whole product line was created. So the line was started because there were a lack of effective products for my specific hair type and texture. And I was personally not impressed with a lot of the products that were available. Most of the good products were available in the US and not in Canada at that time. I know now things have changed, but this was, 10 years ago. And so this is me. This is an old picture of me, but my hair texture hasn't changed. So you see my hair on the left-hand side there with no product and dry. So it doesn't have any product in it, no leave-in conditioner, nothing. And then that is me on the other side of the screen. I guess my left, your right might be opposite, but that's me with product in my hair, with gel in my hair. So you can see that my hair has little to no definition. And when I show people my hair with product in it, they don't believe that this is my hair without product, but this is my hair. I have type 4A at the front, B and C at the back. The back is a lot coilier. And then I have I feel like the sides are kind of like a Z curl. So it could be B and C. I mean, at the end of the day, for type 4, it doesn't really matter. I treat all type 4 hair the same. So this is me with product in my hair with curl definition. Okay. And so I was looking for the perfect gel. And I wanted to make sure that I created a line of products that actually did something specific for the hair that solved problems. So my background professionally is a naturopathic doctor, and I kind of treated creating a hair care product the way I would treat, kind of seeing a client for a visit. So what I mean by that is a client would come to me with a chief complaint, so something is not right. And then I would do an assessment on the client and then try to come up with a treatment plan for that client that addressed some of the issues and concerns that the client was experiencing. So I approach formulating hair care products in the same way. What is the problem? And then what is the solution to that problem in terms of a product? So all of the products that are in the line are solving a specific problem for a specific hair type and texture. So they're not random products. They're solving specific issues. So we started researching hair science, and I start with a foundation of hair care science for every single product that I develop in conjunction with the cosmetic chemist that I work with. So there's a baseline of science there. There's no, let's read my hair and figure out what it needs. No, there is an actual strategy and assessment process that goes into determining what a specific curl pattern or hair texture or curl type needs. And then I kind of formulate a product based on the ingredient availability. So with the suppliers that I have access to, new materials and new ingredients are coming out all the time to solve specific problems. And so that is kind of how I approach product formulation. So it's not just randomly putting oils together, for example. There's a science behind the types of oils that go into the products. Certain oils are penetrating oils and certain oils are sealing oils. If you, for example, use an oil that is a sealing oil as a penetrating oil, you're not going to get the result you're going for. And if you use a penetrating oil, an oil that is low enough molecularly in terms of its weight, and the fatty acids are small enough to kind of traverse the cuticle into the cortex of the hair to actually penetrate the hair, if you use those oils, the sealing oils, they're not going to do what you want them to do. So the foundation, hair science is the foundation of every single product that is developed by Earthtones Naturals. And so from there, the product line was created. So the line really is effective products specifically for type 4 hair. I'm not trying to leave every other curl pattern out, but in my mind, and there are not enough products for type 4 hair, and I have type 4 hair. Even still, to this day, there are not enough products on the market that adequately address the needs of type 4 hair. There are a bunch of products on the market for wavy, curly, but with specifically type 4, there are not a lot. And so because I have type 4 hair, that's what I created the product line to address. Now, other hair types and textures can definitely benefit, because if the product moisturizes type 4 hair, it'll moisturize any other curl pattern. In fact, sometimes for certain curl patterns and textures, the products, Earthtones Naturals products, can be too moisturizing. So primarily I created them to address my own hair care needs. And the focus of the products is on how to effectively moisturize the hair. Hydration and moisture is the primary concern and primary challenge when it comes to type 4 hair. You have secondary issues such as poor curl definition, perhaps scalp dryness, and there are products for that. But the primary concern is moisture, because once your hair is sufficiently moisturized, everything else follows after that, especially if you're suffering from things like breakage, right? And most people that are natural, if they have breakage, they're suffering from low moisture hair breakage. So the breakage due to not having enough moisture content in the hair. Once you put that moisture back in the hair has more flexibility and elasticity where it can stretch a little bit more before it breaks. And some of those breakage issues start to go away. And so we use high quality ingredients. I mean, I've heard some people not necessarily complain, but comment about the price of the products. And I mean, that's a very valid point, but I can tell you it costs us a lot of money to manufacture the products. Manufacturing costs are high. Why? Because the raw materials that we use are in high concentrations. So I was speaking to my cosmetic chemist about something, a product that we want to develop. And, we were looking at some formulas, and I'm like, if we develop this formula that's a water-based product and we put oils in it, how are we getting the oils in? So she was saying, probably what what people do is put 0.01% of a particular oil in a product, for example, a styling foam, because that's what we're developing, and just put on the label contains shea oil or contains coconut oil, even though it contains 0.01%. To me, that's incredibly misleading. And so I refuse to create products with misleading claims if the product does not have coconut oil in it. So if I say the product has coconut oil in it, you can rest assured that that product has a significant amount of coconut oil in it. That coconut oil might be the third or fourth ingredient on the ingredient list, not near down the preservatives. And if it's near down to the preservatives, you can guarantee that there's not much coconut oil in the product. And I said to my chemist at the time, I said, that's ridiculous. She's like, I never do that. She's like, I know you don't. That's why I respect you, that you have integrity behind the product. So you can rest assured that with respect to Earthtones Naturals products, there's an integrity behind the brand. I mean, I'm up in front of you guys. I am the face of this brand. As much as I love to be behind the scenes and in the background, you guys see me, you know me. For those of you who've watched the live streams or heard me on Instagram or, whatever the case might be, I've done webinars. There's integrity behind it. And so I have to make sure that if I create a product that has aloe vera juice, it's not 0.01% aloe vera juice. Aloe vera juice in a product, to claim the moisturizing abilities of aloe vera juice, has to be at least 10%. And so because of that, because of the high concentration of raw materials, the products are expensive to make. I have to question, or you should question, products that you get from a beauty supply store that cost you $5 off the shelf. You've got to question the amount of good stuff in that product, because if it's being sold for $5, how much does it cost to make the product? So these are things that when you're doing price analysis and kind of looking at the products in the beauty supply store and comparing them to premium products, you have to ask yourself, what's in this product or what's not in this product that's making this product a retail price of $5? Because you better believe that the store that is selling them has to make a profit, and that store that is reselling the product had to purchase it from a supplier or a manufacturer that had to make money. So what does it cost? What's the cost of that product? If the product costs $1 to make and it's going on your hair, I'm going to question it. I'm sorry. I'm going to question the concentration of raw materials. I'm going to question the effectiveness of the product. And it's something that critically you should be doing as well, especially when you're comparing more expensive products to cheap products. There are certain products that I don't mind cheaping out on, but when I know the level from a formulation perspective, from a product formulator perspective, when I know what goes into each and every product, the concentration, the raw material cost, the manufacturing cost, everything is a cost, the bottle, the label, the manufacturing, I still need to make a profit as a company, because if I don't, there's no more Earthtones Naturals. And so at the end of the day, there's the very real business aspect, but there's also the quality. So you can rest assured that any product that is created by Earthtones Naturals, it is a quality product. Okay, it is definitely quality. I don't skimp out. I really don't. This is the integrity of the brand here. There's high concentration of active performance ingredients in every single product. So, that's just kind of like my chat about the cost. So it's a premium product. It is. And so when you're purchasing the product, you're going to spend money on the front end versus the back end. So what I mean by that is this: when my hair was texturized, before I created Earthtones Naturals, I was using a product on the market that was defining my curls. I got it from the beauty supply store. Now, I would have to apply that product to my hair every single day. It worked, but I would have to apply it every single day. And an 8-ounce bottle of the product cost $8.99 at the time. But guess what? I was going through a bottle a week. So after 4 weeks, I was spending $36 on that product because I had to use it every day. The curl definition wasn't lasting me throughout the week. I had to apply it every single day. So when I added up, how much I was spending, $36 a month on this product, $8 a week, right? And I had to keep buying, or sometimes I double up on the product. So you're either paying for the product on the front end or on the back end as you keep restocking. So for example, if you have to apply a moisturizer every day and the moisturizer is super cheap, you're going to go through that moisturizer very quickly and have to restock on that. To me, in my opinion and in my experience, that moisturizer is not working if you have to apply it every day. If you apply a product once a week, like let's say you're using the Curl Quench hair butter, for example, that costs you $34, I think it is. You apply that moisturizer once a week as long as you're applying enough. You apply it once a week for, 4 to 6 weeks. That one tub is lasting you up to 6 weeks. So even though you've outlaid $34, you don't have to apply product every day because it's a concentrated product and it does what it says it's supposed to do. So I'm just using that as an example. Right? So the use of high quality ingredients to create a premium product and support. So teaching clients how to take care of their hair and love their hair through workshops, when we were able to do workshops in person, webinars and hair consultations, and promoting the brand through, again, we were able to really gather in person. I would do Love Your Hair parties, which is a great way to kind of get the word out there about the product and kind of have like a little party with your friends. And I'd come and present and people can purchase product or not. There was no pressure there, and they'd learn about their hair in a fun environment. So I'm really, really, really committed to education because if you don't know the products to use on your hair, it doesn't matter how great the product is, especially if you don't know how to use it properly. So I'm really committed to education for sure. So the Earthtones Naturals philosophy, understanding your hair is important. And this is why I'm a firm believer in hair and texture typing. I know that there are varied opinions, very polarized opinions about do we hair type, do we not? I do. I love it. There's nothing wrong with it. How do you know your hair type and texture if you don't do hair typing? There's a thought process that hair typing kind of divides people. I don't know how. It's a system. It's a tool. So the tool in and of itself isn't divisive. The tool in and of itself just states what is. Your hair's curly. Your hair's coily. It states the characteristics of the hair. So anything that's kind of read into that is kind of out of the realm of what I believe the tool, which is the hair typing systems, were intended. The tools were intended to just classify the hair based on curl pattern and characteristics, right? And so I go back to, skincare. How do you know what to put on your skin if you don't type your skin? It doesn't matter how limited or inaccurate that skin typing system might be. It gives you an idea of the types of products to use on your skin. So if you have normal, combination, or oily skin, you know what your skin, how it behaves, how it performs when certain products are placed on it. You know, if you have oily skin, you're prone to breakouts. I mean, you know so much about your skin from typing. I don't understand what the problem is with typing hair. So I push back against people who are against hair typing for that very reason, that you will not know what types of products to use on your hair if you don't understand your hair type and texture. So if you want to know your hair type and texture, there is a live I did a few weeks ago. It's on YouTube. You can go check that out. And I go through the characteristics that you can use to type your hair. It'll give you a really good eye-opening look at what your hair type and texture is. And this, live will kind of help you decide what products to use. Research. Each ingredient has research to support its use and effectiveness in natural hair. So when it comes to putting ingredients in the Earthtones Naturals products, I don't really use a lot of ingredients that don't have some research to support their use in hair care. I am not saying that if out of the plethora of ingredients that are out there, ones that I don't use aren't supported. But I just make sure that there's good support for every single ingredient that I have in the products. And I do that again from an integrity perspective. So if anyone asks, okay, well, why do you use coconut oil, or why do you not use this oil or butter? I can point to some research to show, okay, this is why specifically coconut oil is used in the product, or why we use glycerin in the products versus, this anti-glycerin movement in natural hair community, which comes from, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, a really poor understanding of glycerin and really what it does and how beneficial it is to the hair and humectants in general. There's so much research to support the use of humectants. And as long as it's done properly and, in various environments, then there's nothing wrong with using glycerin. So every single ingredient has some support with respect to how it should be used in the hair. and solving problems. And I think this is really important. So the products, I don't create random products. I create products that are going to solve particular issues. So every single product in the line has a reason that is there. So the Earthtones Naturals hair care philosophy is really, really, really simple. I like to keep it simple because the hair science supports it. Now, if you want to do things outside of this really simple regimen, you can, but my philosophy is start with the basics first. And if after using the basics or doing the basics, you still have issues with your hair, then you can add in these different things like rinses or masks or whatever it is that you want to use. But there's got to be a basic understanding of how to take care of your hair. So in general, here's what you want to do. You want to cleanse your hair, right? So most people will use a shampoo. Some people will use a conditioner wash, but you want to cleanse your hair. Cleansing removes the dirt and the oil and the buildup from the hair. So that's kind of self-explanatory. Depending on the type of product that you use to cleanse your hair, you can remove too much dirt. You can strip the oil layer from the hair. So then after that, what you need to do is you need to condition the hair. Conditioning is extremely important because what it does is it helps to lay down the cuticle. It helps to soften and detangle the hair. So that's conditioning. The third step is after you rinse out the conditioner from your hair, right? You're rinsing out those ingredients. You need to still replenish some oil. So you need some leave-in product on your hair. So I call that moisturizing. Some people will call it a leave-in conditioner, but I don't. I like to moisturize because leave-in conditioners aren't always moisturizers. Leave-in conditioners will condition, so they'll soften, they'll seal the cuticle, but they might not add additional moisture to the hair and help lock it in. So this is why when people ask, do you have a leave-in? No, we have a moisturizer. That also conditions the hair, right? And then the last step is your styling step. And you'll want a styler for that. And so we'll go through what each of those products are. And so again, with the philosophy with respect to Earthtones Naturals. And again, doing this for years and just going through different iterations of products and different methods. This is what I find to be the simplest way to take care of your hair, that you put the investment of time in on wash day so that during the week, you're good to go. And part of the reason that's important is because when I first started this, I was working 8:30 to 5 every day, waking up early to take the GO train, dropping off my daughter at daycare. So I didn't have time. I didn't have time to do my hair in the morning. So I thought to myself, there's got to be a better way of doing your hair rather than doing it every day, like styling it every day. And so I kind of sought to create that system that gives you an opportunity to invest the time into doing your hair on wash day, and what you've invested reaps rewards during the week. So it's just maintaining your style because we're busy. And I was not about my hair. I'm still not about my hair right now. Like I have very little time during the week to dedicate towards my hair. So the investment of time goes in on wash day and I make the time to do that. So most of the care is spent on wash day. So what does that look like? Well, step one is going to be your shampoo. And this is important because you really want to start with a clean slate by removing grease, oils, and buildup. And shampooing, what it can do is it can improve the effectiveness of deep conditioners. Now, some people in this step will co-wash, you'll conditioner wash, they'll use a conditioner to cleanse the hair instead of a shampoo. Some dedicated conditioner washes on the market will contain some detergents, and they'll probably contain some conditioning ingredients. So they might contain like really mild detergents. If you want to know more about detergents, then just go and review the best products for curly hair. That's also on the YouTube channel. So I go through what shampoos do, what conditioners do, what moisturizers do, what styling products do, and I go through the ingredients in those products. So go back and review that. I'll mention them briefly here, but this is more dedicated towards where the Earthtones Naturals products come in. So with respect to a shampoo, you want to remove the dirt, oil, and buildup. There are certain shampoos and certain detergents that do it a little better than others. So you have some what are called harsh detergents that will really remove the dirt, oil, and buildup, and will strip the hair of a lot of oils, which is problematic. And so that's why you want to definitely replenish those oils with a good conditioner. But in general, shampoos will contain cleansing agents. Sometimes your conditioner wash might not be strong enough to remove that dirt, oil, and buildup. Detergents or surfactants are chemically created a certain way to attach onto oil, to attach onto water, and then that oil-water complex gets removed and down the drain. Some conditioners don't do that. In fact, conditioners have a different type of surfactant that sticks onto the hair. So this is why you'll want to use a shampoo every now and then. If you are using if you're using a lot of oils and greases, then you might want to use a shampoo that's more clarifying. So I'll get into that in a second after I talk about the Curl Cleanse Moisturizing and Conditioning Shampoo. So the Curl Cleanse Moisturizing and Conditioning Shampoo gently removes sebum and buildup from your hair and scalp while conditioning the hair. So it has the surfactants in it, so the cleansing agents in it. It has primary and secondary surfactants, but it also has conditioning agents, which is one of the reasons why this product is so moisturizing. And when you use it, you feel as though your hair is clean, yet not stripped at the same time. So I just want to show you, as I do my little product demo here, the shampoo. So the shampoo comes in 3 different sizes. So I'm hoping everyone can see that. So shampoo. So this is the 500, the 250, and I'm just going to put them here because a lot of people, when they go to the website and they order, they're like, oh, I ordered the wrong size. This is what the sizes look like. So 500, 250, and the 125 ml size. So this is the shampoo. Those are the 3 sizes of our bottled products. And I just want to show you the shampoo here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. So you see, very, I don't know, it's got like a smooth texture to it. So that's what the shampoo looks like. Okay, so it's very concentrated. You don't need a lot. And I find that the shampoo is very good at removing dirt and buildup. But if your hair is in braids, like for example, if you've, worn a protective style for a while and you've got that like buildup of dirt or whatever at the base of the braid, or let's say you're like slathering on waxes, pomades, any type of oil, this shampoo tends to not be enough to cleanse the hair. So here's what I recommend. If you're in that type of situation, what you'd want to do is do a clarifying shampoo first, and you can use any inexpensive shampoo on the market. But what I do use is the Live Clean shampoo. You can get it from Walmart. It's the apple cider vinegar shampoo. So that's what I will typically use to clarify my hair. I do 1 or 2 washes with that. And then after that, because I don't like the way it makes my hair feel, it makes my hair feel super squeaky clean, I follow it up with the Earthtones Naturals conditioning shampoo to soften my hair up again. And then I go into conditioning. So this shampoo can be used by most people. And I say most because if your hair is really, really, really baby fine and it gets weighed down with product, then this shampoo might weigh your hair down a little bit too much. But for most people who experience dryness with respect to their hair, this shampoo is perfect. Okay, so it can be used by toddlers all the way up. And I say toddlers because this shampoo has a pH of 7. So it's a neutral pH, which makes it a perfect no-tear formula shampoo. Okay, so for those of you who are asking the pH of the products, I know most of the pH, this is the highest pH product, and then every other product like the conditioners, the leave-in, the hair butter, etc., is a low pH of between 4 to 6, depending on the batch, right? That's made. So rest assured, it is within the proper pH for making sure that the cuticle is sealed and the pH is not too high for the hair to cause any type of problems. This is the highest pH of 7. It's neutral, great no-tear formula. All right. So the next step now, after you shampoo your hair, you're going to want to condition or deep condition. And so depending on the season, depending on the needs of your hair, you're going to want to choose one of 3 different conditioners that we have in the line. There is one kind of rinse out conditioner that you leave on the hair for about 10 minutes, and then 2 deep conditioners that you would leave on longer. And it just depends on the condition of your hair and sometimes, season, whatever. So what are the conditioners? So we've got the hydrating conditioner, we've got the intensive deep treatment, and we've got the restorative hair mask. So let's go through the hydrating conditioner first. The hydrating conditioner would be your kind of a weekly conditioner. I have no issues with my hair. My hair doesn't feel dry normally, and I need something that's only gonna, be left on my hair for about 10 to 15 minutes. So that is your hydrating conditioner. It'll leave your hair soft, moisturized. There are detangling ingredients in there. There's oils, so jojoba oil, avocado, fractionated coconut oil to keep the conditioner nice and light, detangling agents. This conditioner can also be used as a leave-in conditioner underneath the jelly in the summertime. So if you're looking for a leave-in, and we don't really have leave-in conditioners yet, we have moisturizers, right? And I'll get into what those moisturizers are in a little bit. But if you don't want so much moisturizing from our hair butter or coconut moisture milk, but you just want something to keep your hair soft underneath the gel in the summer, then the hydrating conditioner can definitely be used in that case. It is suitable for all hair types and textures. However, again, if you have super baby fine hair, you might find that even this product is too moisturizing for you. If that is the case, what you'd want to do is dilute it. So you can dilute it by either applying less product and having more water on your hair before you apply the product, or just taking some water in your hand and mixing it around with the conditioner and applying it to your hair. I use this product, if I'm using it, I'll towel dry my hair first and then apply the product. I find that for my hair type and texture, a more concentrated application is, I get the best results that way. And a more concentrated application for me is just towel drying my hair a little bit more and applying the product. So not really diluting it. So what does the hydrating conditioner look like? I'm going to show you. Again, 3 sizes for the hydrating conditioner. And I'm not going to show you the sizes for each product, just because the jarred products have the sizes kind of look the same, and the bottle products, the sizes kind of look the same. But here's the difference, and I want them to stay. Let me put them up more so you can see them in the camera. So you see the difference. So 125 is here, 250 is here, and 500 is here. Okay, so that if you're purchasing the product, you know the difference. You're able to figure out the difference. Okay, so hydrating conditioner. So this is what the hydrating conditioner looks like. I hope it's not too bright, but you can see it's a thick product. It's pretty thick. It doesn't really come off the spoon. This is what it feels like. It's got a nice smooth texture to it, but it's thick. Okay, so if you need to dilute it, you can dilute that product, no problem. And again, if you're going to use this as a rinse out conditioner, you would use it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Someone told me, unfortunately, that the directions are incorrect on one of the labels, so I apologize for that. It should be, I used to say that leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes. But I've changed it now to 10 to 15 minutes only because in general, you want to leave on a conditioner for the time it takes for your hair to soften. And that is going to be different for each person's hair type and texture. So if you have super fine hair, right, and it's silky in texture, your hair might soften in 3 minutes. If you have low porosity hair, that tends to be dry and brittle, it might take 15 to 20 minutes for your hair to soften. So just general recommendations is 10 to 15 minutes, but it honestly depends on your hair type and texture. So leaving it on longer than that, though, than the time it takes for your hair to soften, offers no increased benefit for the hydrating conditioner specifically. So I know some people leave it on overnight. I've tested it and left it on overnight. It didn't really offer any more conditioning benefit than if I were to leave it on 10 to 15 minutes. So for the hydrating conditioner, 10 to 15 minutes or until your hair softens is a great kind of guideline. Now the intensive hydrating deep treatment. So now we're getting into your deep treatments now. Your deep treatments are going to be left onto the hair for longer. So 30 to 45 minutes with heat. They have ingredients in there that are going to penetrate into the hair strand and do what they're supposed to do, whether that is conditioning, whether that is softening, whether that is restoring oils. So now we're getting into the intensive deep treatment, which is more for moisture. So this is more of a moisturizing deep treatment. It has a little bit of, no, it doesn't have any protein in it. Oh my goodness. Last time I looked at this ingredient list. Yes, it does. It has hydrolyzed rice protein and hydrolyzed jojoba protein. And it also has cationic honey, which is basically a humectant, but it has a positive charge to it. So what those positive charges are going to do, they're going to stick onto the hair and be a little bit more conditioning, so it softens the hair more. So it's a really great conditioning product. It also has cationic guar, which is another positively charged conditioning agent. So there's super conditioning agents in the deep treatment. The consistency of this product, and I'm going to show you, it's like a mask. I feel like I should have probably called this one the mask. Instead of the restorative hair mask. But this, again, is thick, but it's like almost like a paste. Oopsie. So it's almost like a paste-like consistency. I find it spreads very well. I like it. When it's on the hair, it helps to detangle the hair very well. But it is thick. It is very thick, so you might have to apply this product with a little bit more water. So in order to dilute it a little bit. And then some people have said, oh, the consistency is kind of weird. That's okay. You just take it and you rub it between your hands and then you apply it to your hair, right? So it's functionally thick because there's a lot, it's chock full of ingredients. There's a lot of ingredients in here. And, you know, it spreads well on the hair. So when would you use the deep treatment? You would use it if your primary issue is dryness. So if you have a lot of your hair's dry, it's brittle, I like to use it in the winter time as my deep conditioning treatment. Okay, so this is the one that I would use. I don't use the hydrating conditioner in the winter. In the winter, I like to layer on as much product as possible to hydrate my hair. In the winter, I don't go chasing moisture outside. It just ain't gonna happen. And like -15, -20 degree weather and -40 with a wind chill, your hair is not gonna be moisturized. It's gonna freeze. So as much as possible, I make sure that my hair's hydrated inside. And when I go outside in the winter time, I put a hat on. But I do layer up on products that will try to keep the moisture in my hair as much as possible and slow the evaporation process. And this is one of the products I'll use in the winter. It used to be my favorite deep conditioner until we changed the restorative hair masks. So this latest batch of restorative hair masks, we made a change to this the formula. We didn't take anything away. We actually added in cationic guar to this, which gives it like a mask, like that kind of pasty mask-like consistency to it. I have to admit, there's a lot of products in the line that I don't use just because they're not for my hair type and texture, or I don't need to use them. So every now and then what I will do is I will test the products on specific hair types and textures that the products are suited for. So for example, the light jelly, I don't use it, but I test it on other people who have the specific hair type and texture, and they provide feedback. I normally don't use the mask just because my hair is not damaged. It's typically for repair. So the mask is our repairing product right now. We are going to add another one on, but this is our repairing product. So if you have damaged hair, color treated hair, heat damaged hair, the restorative hair mask is for you. It has hydrolyzed keratin in it, which really helps to kind of help restore the bonds in the inner part of the hair. But it also has your hydrolyzed protein, the highest percentage of protein in any product. And no, protein does not damage your hair. It doesn't make your hair brittle. It doesn't make your hair hard. Your hair actually is protein. The mass or bulk of it is protein. And the protein is used to repair the hair, to temporarily patch damaged areas. So this is the repairing product. So I recommend this for clients who have breakage, damage, hair loss, and thinning. Even though it is not necessarily a hair loss and thinning product, meaning it doesn't have ingredients that are specific, I found that clients that use it get really great results. So I used it like a while ago and I'm like, oh, this product is great. It makes the hair super soft, but I don't like how it's applied. I don't like the application process. It just goes on. It doesn't have a lot of slip, but it makes your hair super soft. And the longer it's left on, the softer your hair becomes. So I said, you know what, let me change that, because for me, the experience with the product is also important. The aesthetics of the products are important. So I said, let me change it and let's add some of this cationic guar to it. And I added it, and now this is my absolute favorite deep conditioner. I love the way it spreads. I love the way my hair feels. And the longer you keep this product on, the softer the hair is. I don't know if that is really true for the intensive deep treatment. So keep it on for 30 to 45 minutes, your hair's soft. Now, each person's gonna have a different experience with the product, granted, but I found that for my hair, and when I use this on my daughter's hair, the longer I keep the restorative hair mask on, the softer their hair is once you rinse that product from the hair. So this is now my new favorite product. So the restorative hair mask is thick. You can, some people will alternate this with the deep treatment. So 1 week deep treatment, 1 week hair mask, but this is more for repair. So if your hair's damaged, if it's breaking, if it's dry, if it's brittle, you'd want to use the restorative hair mask instead of any of the other deep conditioners until your hair gets restored back to the way it should be. So normally I'd say in the summer, you'd want to switch to another conditioner, but if you're treating an issue, if you're addressing a concern, you'll keep using this until that concern is adequately addressed. Okay, so the restorative hair mask, my favorite now. So let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so you see the mask here. It's not, it's kind of like a cream color. It's thick, but it is, I don't know, it's a little bit more goopy. It's not as pasty as the deep treatment, you see. Right? It's so smooth going on. It's light. I absolutely love this product now that we've made that change. So again, like I said, we didn't take anything away from it. We actually added to the product to make it more conditioning. So when you go on the website to place the order for the restorative hair mask, you're going to see we've enhanced the conditioning. And that is because cationic guar is a positively charged molecule. So it enhances the conditioning ability of the product. All right, so with respect to properly deep conditioning, it's super important that if you're using the hair mask or if you're using the deep treatment, you definitely want to use it with heat. Heat means an external heat source, so it could be a heat cap, it could be a thermal cap, or if you don't have any of those handy, what you could use is just put a plastic cap around your head and maybe wrap a towel around it or put a satin bonnet on to trap that body heat in. So we're looking at about 35 degrees Celsius, which corresponds to your body heat. And you want to definitely leave on for 30 to 45 minutes. I would say 45 minutes if you don't have an external heat source. And deep conditioning should be done after shampooing. And using heat and leaving the conditioner on for a long period of time can increase the amount of conditioner that is actually adsorbed, AD, not AB, adsorbed onto the surface of the hair. And the more conditioner that's adsorbed onto the surface of the hair, the softer your hair becomes, the more detangled it becomes, and the more damaged hair will actually accept the positively charged conditioning agents a lot better. So conditioning agents work so much better on damaged hair. This is why the repairing process on really damaged hair can be almost instantaneous, because there's more negatively charged parts of damaged hair for the positively charged aspects of the conditioner to stick onto. So some of these ingredients are going to stick on when you rinse the conditioner from your hair. So all of these are rinse out. So you don't want to leave them on. They are rinse out conditioners, but after you rinse out these conditioners from your hair, you have got to follow the conditioner up with a moisturizer. We're not talking about a leave-in conditioner necessarily, unless that leave-in conditioner that you're using is super moisturizing. And I just find that some of them on the market are just not. And so this is why I'm going to differentiate, and we make the distinction between leave-in conditioners and moisturizers. If we have a leave-in conditioner, then for Earthtones Naturals, you'll know that that conditioner is not necessarily a moisturizer. So it might not moisturize your hair, it'll condition. And so what I mean by that is it's going to seal the cuticle, it's going to soften the hair, and it's going to detangle, but it won't necessarily moisturize. When we do have a leave-in conditioner, which we are coming out with, the leave-in conditioner that we come out with, will specifically be for use for detangling and for use underneath a gel in warmer climates or warmer temperatures. Okay, so I just want to make that distinction. We do have a product that's in development. The product has been developed. It just has to now be manufactured. But it is a leave-in conditioner and a hair softener. So it acts as a softening agent underneath gels, or for people who really can't be dealing with a lot of that, the oils and the butters and stuff like that, like people with baby fine hair. This would be a great leave-in conditioner for them to condition the hair, but not necessarily add a ton of oils and butters. There are humectants in the conditioner, so it'll attract moisture to the hair, but it's not going to be heavy. And so I just want to make that distinction with respect to Earthtones products. Other product lines will have different meanings for their leave-in conditioners, but when I say a leave-in conditioner, it's not a moisturizer. If I say a moisturizer, it's a moisturizer with conditioning agents in it. So I'm always going to make sure that any moisturizer that we come out with is going to also condition. So it's also going to soften, also going to seal the cuticle, because reality is that type 4 hair, and again, remember the product line was specifically created for type 4 hair. Type 4 hair needs all of that. It needs conditioning, it needs softening, it needs moisture, it needs hydration. So any moisturizer we come up with is going to do all three. A conditioner, a leave-in conditioner will specifically condition. And within the functions of a conditioner, moisturizing is not one of them. Okay, just in terms of, what a conditioner actually does. So moisturizing and seal. So moisturizing and hydration are keys to healthy hair. Keys. I have seen some miraculous things done on people's hair just from adding a moisturizer. It's amazing how curls pop, how the hair feels so much better just from moisture. So let's make a distinction among 3 different words that are typically used interchangeably, but I'm really, really nitpicky when it comes to this stuff because each word is something different. And we tend to use them interchangeably in the natural hair world, but they're different. So moisturizing is about reducing water loss from the hair. And so in order to do that effectively, you need things like emollients. And emollients are like your oils and your butters, okay? So that is moisturizing. So you want to reduce the water loss from the hair. So how that works is when you apply an emollient to hair that's hydrated, especially if it's a sealing emollient, it's going to reduce the transfer of water or the evaporation of water from the hair into the environment, okay? So that is moisturizing. Hydration is different. Hydration just is water in the hair. So when you're hydrated, right, physically, that means you have enough water. When you're dehydrated, that means you don't have enough water. So with respect to the hair, hydration is the hair has enough water in it. So if the hair, and that water is in the cortex of the hair, and it helps with hydrogen bonding, and it helps with bonding, and it's really important for that layer of the hair. So water has to be in the hair for the hair to be hydrated. Okay, so we have water in the hair for the hair to be hydrated, and then moisture keeps that water in. And then conditioning is completely different. Conditioning is about reducing friction between hair strands. So conditioning is that slip that we all love, right? What does the slip do? It helps to detangle the hair. So that's conditioning. Conditioners can also soften. So there is a distinction among all 3 words, and ideally you want your product to do all 3. A lot of times your products are just doing one. They're conditioning and not sufficiently moisturizing, and they're not hydrating because, well, within the natural hair community, we don't believe in humectants. I believe in humectants. I believe strongly in humectants. I use them in every single product. I am a glycerin fan. Glycerin is one of my favorite ingredients ever, but whoever said whatever said no glycerin because glycerin makes your hair hard. How can glycerin make your hair hard? When it's a humectant, and by its very nature, humectants attract water to whatever is on the humectant. So if you have glycerin on your hair, guess what's going to happen? Water is going to be attracted to the hair. This is one of the reasons why, I don't know if I'm dating myself here. When I was younger, I had a jerry curl or curly perm or a wave nouveau, whatever you call it, right? For anyone that had a jerry curl or wave nouveau style, you know that you had this chemical treatment, right? That resulted in curls in your hair, but your hair was super, super, super brittle and dry. So what did you have to use? You had to use what people would affectionately call jerry curl juice, or they would use, jerry curl juice was the spray, and they would use a gel. If you look at the second ingredient in your Jerry Curl Juice or Curl Activator spray, it was glycerin. And you know, and I know that when I sprayed glycerin on my hair would never be dry. And so my question is, again, to the glycerin detractors, if glycerin is such a terrible ingredient and it dries out the hair, why was it the second ingredient in these sprays that were meant to moisturize hair that was so damaged that if you didn't use the spray, your hair was dry and brittle? I mean, that's what those waves did. They destroyed your hair. And so you would need to continually moisturize your hair with the spray. So glycerin, humectants are not evil. They are necessary and needed for curly hair. Depending on your wave or curl or coil and how dry your hair is naturally, you'll need more or less humectants. So humectants are classified. They're classified with respect to how much moisture they can attract to themselves. And glycerin is up there. And there are other humectants, sodium PCA, there's agave nectar, there's honey. A lot of those sweet tasting materials are humectants. There's nothing wrong with them. And humectants is the number one ingredient that I find lacking from so many of these leave-in conditioners that are on the market. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of your hair is dry. You're missing the humectants. Okay. So with respect to moisturizing, you do need all three. You do. So I have the oil here for sealing. I don't know. I'm going to kind of reclassify that because the oil is not really a sealing oil, and I'll get into that in a second. Actually, yeah, it can be a sealing oil, but it's also for your scalp. So I'll talk about the two moisturizers here, coconut moisture milk and the hair butter. So we have two right now. We are developing more. And remember, I said that we develop products as needed to address specific issues. And so the next moisturizer develop is going to address other specific issues that, the hair butter 1.0 is not addressing. It is by far my favorite product. The coconut moisture milk is my favorite product for fine to medium hair. And so let's get into it. It is a light moisturizing lotion. So the moisture milk is a lotion. It is very light, and it is really meant to hydrate hair that is very fine, baby fine, and can get weighed down with product, but still needs the hydration. So it's not an oily product. It has conditioning agents, it has oils, and it has humectants, okay? It moisturizes, hydrates, and conditions, and it increases the manageability of the hair, and it really is meant for fine hair. And then the hair butter is a thick moisturizing hair butter that is ideal for improving moisture in dry, thirsty curls. It is a thicker product, and I'll show you the difference between the two. It moisturizes, hydrates, and softens the hair, and it really is ideal for medium to thick hair. Now, depending on your porosity, you might have to use one over the other or modify the way that you use the hair butter or the coconut moisture milk. In general, after experimenting with this product on so many different levels, in so many different ways, underneath different products, here's what I will say about the hair butter, especially when you're pairing these products as leave-in moisturizers underneath stylers. They need to dry in. So what I mean by that is once you apply the hair butter or the moisture milk to your hair, and we're not doing this, we are sectioning and applying, like think relaxer or color application when you are applying these products to your hair. It makes no sense in applying a product to your hair half and expecting it to really moisturize. It's just not going to happen. So you have to be very meticulous with your application process. I section my hair and I rake the butter through until the point where I feel that my hair is moisturized. If I feel that my hair is not moisturized, I need more butter. So I use the butter. I don't use the milk. The milk is too light for me. I'd use the whole bottle to moisturize my hair. So I use the butter, and I use it on towel dried hair, and I am raking it through, and I'm taking gobs of butter and I'm raking that product through and making sure that that section of hair is sufficiently moisturized. If the section doesn't feel moisturized, it's not moisturized enough and you need to apply more. So you need to apply the amount of product that goes along with your hair type and texture. And that is going to vary based on your strand thickness, your porosity, which is why understanding all these things is important, because it'll help you figure out how much product to use. Most of the time with this product, when people are like, it didn't work for me, they didn't use enough. They did not use enough. And if they come into the boutique and I show them how to use it, they're like, no, I used way less than that. You can't use less than what your hair requires. If you have a low porosity hair, really with low porosity hair, low porosity hair tends to be difficult to hydrate. And I'm not going to discuss low porosity hair today. I will definitely do a live on it because low porosity hair is special. It is strong hair, it is healthy hair, but it has certain needs and requirements. So I'll get into that in another live. But if you have low porosity hair that is difficult to moisturize and the cuticles like this and products just sit on top of the hair, you have to modify the way you apply this product. So what I find for low porosity hair is you have to kind of add more water and you before you apply the butter, and you don't want to do a super concentrated application of this because it just tends to sit on the hair. So we have to modify it based on your hair type and texture. So if you use it once, you're like, it doesn't work, don't throw it away. Try it a different way. There is no one application process fits all for any of these products. No one application process. And this is why I always emphasize every time I do these lives, they're long. My webinars are super long because I'm trying to teach the fundamentals of the hair science behind the products. And so because I know that low porosity hair, the cuticle tends to be like this and products tend to sit on top of the hair. And with respect to conditioners, they sit on top of the hair. What's going to happen is you get balling up. And so in order to minimize that balling, you got to add some water. That acts as more of a diluent. So again, this is based on science. And so this is why I spend so much time teaching this, because I want you to be able to go home and try these different ways of troubleshooting and understand why you're doing something. So I do a more concentrated application of butter. My hair is high porosity. What high porosity hair is hair that exchanges moisture with the environment very easily. So my hair accepts moisture quickly and it loses moisture quickly. So from the time I wash product out of my hair, I have a finite amount of time to replenish that moisture before my hair, like the water completely evaporates. So for me, I towel dry my hair, and I find that for the butter, my hair, it gets moisturized better at a more concentrated application. For you, you might need to add tons of water to get that butter to work into your hair properly or to be moisturized. So there's a spectrum between dry hair, and I don't apply the butter on dry hair. Do I? I don't think I do. Dry hair or soaking wet. There's a spectrum. So you have to try dry or soaking wet to see what the best application process is for your hair. I can't tell you that. I can tell you if, I assess your hair and I try it, but I don't know. Right? So you have to try the gamut of application processes. So if you're finding the product doesn't work, it's not moisturizing, try a more concentrated application and try more product. So more product means, does my hair feel moisturized after I apply this product to my hair? If it does, you're good to go. After you apply any of the moisturizers, either the hair butter or the coconut moisture milk on wash day, you should not have to apply that product again till your next wash day. If you've applied enough, and I'm going to say a couple other caveats. If you wear your hair out in an afro in the wintertime, you're probably going to have to apply product to your hair every day. Why? Okay, well, what's the science behind it? If you wear your hair out in an afro, you have more surface area for water to evaporate from the hair. So because you have more surface area for evaporation, and let's say you combine it with having high porosity hair, water is going to leave your hair really quickly. So you're going to have to moisturize every day. However, if your hair's in twists or in more, clumped, more of a clump style, so twists, twist out, there's less surface area for evaporation. So water's not going to leave your hair quickly. So again, it just depends on how you wear your hair. But for the most part, I moisturize my hair once in the wintertime on my wash day, and I don't moisturize again because I apply enough butter. And so I guarantee you, if you apply enough of these two products, you're not going to get the issues of having dry hair. The other thing I will say is because these products contain conditioning agents in a high concentration, and conditioning agents tend to build up on top of the hair, they sit on top. So your conditioning agents don't get absorbed in, they sit right on top of the hair. That's what they're meant to do. The more you apply of the butter and the coconut moisture milk every day, the more buildup you're going to get on the hair. So just, again, another tip for you. So what do they look like, and what one are you going to use? So coconut moisture milk and hair butter. So I'm gonna, this is what the coconut moisture milk looks like. You see how light it is, how thin it is? So that's the coconut moisture milk. You can literally see through to my finger here, right? Very light, very, very light. The butter, let's take a look at the butter. See how thick that is? So this butter is really thick. It spreads really, really, really well. So it's a thicker product. So the balling up, someone asked what the balling up is and what causes the balling up. The balling up is basically incompatible product or incompatibility with a product on a hair or two products together that are incompatible. I see this a lot if someone is, like if I'm testing a product on someone's hair and they have another product on their hair and I apply the hair butter on top, I'll get balling up instantly. And it's just a product incompatibility. So that's what the balling up is. Sometimes that happens if, for example, a person puts a moisturizer on their hair after the gel, after their styler. That's a big no-no. Don't want to do that. So product layering is super important. Some people will use a gel and then put a moisturizer on after. That's a cause for balling. Like that's not going to work. Okay. So now, how to apply a moisturizer. So again, for thicker textures and high density hair, it's best to use a moisturizer that's thicker in consistency and one that contains a high amount of oils or butters. And then lighter moisturizers are great for fine hair. And again, you're going to have to kind of figure out for your hair type and texture, the amount to put on. I just know that, higher density hair, thicker hair strands require more product and require more sectioning, right? Than fine hair. So it just depends on your hair type and texture. So I have this scalp oil in the moisturize and seal section, and it can be used as a sealant because it does have polyunsaturated oils, and polyunsaturated oils, which are liquid at room temperature oils, are your sealing oils in general. Your saturated oils, which are your solid at room temperature oils, are your penetrating oils. So I know that there's a lot of people that will use their solid at room temperature oils, like coconut oil, for example, shea butter, as sealants, but they're not sealants, they're penetrating. So they're not going to do the work of sealing the hair. Your liquid at room temperature oils typically will. And how you would use a sealing oil is you'd put it on hair that is damp, because what you're doing is you're sealing in moisture. So you don't put it on dry hair. You put it on damp hair and you'd seal in the moisture. If you're using the hair butter, you don't necessarily need a sealing oil, but this oil is really great for the scalp. It contains 7 oils: jojoba, avocado, Percaxi oil, sacha inchi oil, olive oil, and then essential oil is peppermint oil. So it's a really light oil for the scalp. You can use it on the hair, but really I did create it more so for the scalp. And it really is just kind of like a fundamental scalp oil to address any flaking that is due to dryness. If you have flaking due to dandruff, anecdotally, I have heard that this helps, but this is not necessarily a treatment oil for that. We are coming out with a treatment oil, a high potency, powerful, jam-packed oil to address the issues such as dandruff. I can't say treat. So to address dandruff issues specifically, but this oil is just kind of like your dry scalp oil, not due to any type of pathology or anything like that. It can be used on the hair. If you are using it on the hair, you would use it on damp hair. So you would probably use this oil after the butter, not before the butter, after the butter, before the butter dries into the hair. So you want to use it on damp hair. But honestly, if you're using the hair butter, you don't need a sealing oil. So this is a step that you don't necessarily have to do. All right, but it is amazing, amazing for the scalp. I don't have dry scalp issues, so I don't use this oil. But if you do have dry scalp issues, this is a really great oil. It is very light, so it's not a heavy oil. So this is the oil here. Okay, and I'll just pour some on my finger. Very, very light oil, very light. It absorbs very well into the scalp and into the skin. So I'm just going to rub it on my hand. Okay, you can see the sheen. Okay, so it absorbs in, it has some fast absorbing oil so it doesn't stay greasy on the scalp. I can rub it in and there we go. Okay, so it's a very, 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 good oil for the scalp. All right, so next we come to styling. My favorite types of products are my styling products. And I know some people, they have challenges with the gel. We can talk about those challenges. We can definitely walk you through the jelly and how to use them. I did a whole webinar on it called Wash and Go Like a Pro. So it really goes into how to use the jelly specifically in this product line, what gels are, what they're made of, how they work, and then how to use the curl enhancing jellies in the line, how to troubleshoot various issues. So I'll get into that a little bit here, but again, more detail, you can consult that video. And so people ask, okay, how do you get your hair to look the way it looks? This is achieved with the curl enhancing jelly. So what I have in my hair right now, shampoo, hair butter, gel. That's it. I don't do anything else fancy. That's all that's in my hair. And earlier in the presentation, you saw my hair before gel, and this is it after. And this is after 2 weeks. So this is 2 weeks. It has to be washed for sure, but this definition is still here after 2 weeks. Okay. So this is where gels and styling creams come in. And we have 4 different styling products right now. And we are adding 1 more to the line to make it 5. So we have 3 different gels and a styling cream. And so let's start with the light curl enhancing jelly. So the curl enhancing jelly formula is a natural formula. It is about 97%, 98% natural. Every single ingredient in there except the preservative. The preservative is not 100% natural preservative, but it is a low percentage. But this is a 97 or 98% natural styling gel. Even the polymers that do the actual work of clumping the curls together are natural. Okay, so this is a natural styling gel. It contains aloe vera, glycerin, propanediol, which comes from corn, glycerin, which is vegetable glycerin. It contains sodium PCA. It contains bamboo and sea kelp extracts, and it contains the polymers. Okay, this is the jelly. All the jellies are the same formula. The polymers might be a little bit different, concentration might be a little bit different, but the jellies are all very similar in terms of what they're made out of, but there are various levels of hold. So we've got the light jelly, which is really a very soft hold, meant for fine to medium, finer hair that doesn't want to get weighed down with product. It is a very, very, very soft hold. So it's not a strong holding product. Then we have the regular curl enhancing jelly, which is our main gel that we had from before. Used to be my favorite gel. This is now it's a medium hold gel. Okay, so a medium hold. And then we have the Max Jelly. And so with each gel, you're going to get various levels of hold and cautions. So a caution on the Max Gel is it might flake and it creates a strong hold. And so I'm just going to put it out there right now. The Max Jelly is not the same as the regular jelly. It is not the same product. It is gluier. And that gluier makes it stickier, and that stickiness makes it clump curls together better. That's the purpose of this Max Curl Enhancing Jelly, is to provide a strong hold, especially in high humidity conditions. Some people don't like and it's not really a crunchy, crispy feel, especially if you use it more concentrated. See, a lot of people, when they use gels, they do too much water. Too much water can be problematic. It can create a crispy feeling to the hair. When it comes to using any of these gels, the exception of the light jelly, you need to maybe use less water. Okay, you just do, depending on your hair type and texture. Again, there's no one application process fits all. So you can do a dry hair application. I know people that do dry hair all the way to soaking wet. You have to find the one that works best for you. Me, damp hair application. Soaking wet does not work. No good. No thank you. It can result in some curl definition, but my hair feels dry. It's stiff. It turns into an afro later on. And contrary to popular opinion and belief, a wetter hair application for really coily hair does not result in more definition and length to the hair and stretch. The stretch will come from the way you apply the product. So for example, if you twist your hair, if your hair is really coily and you, let's say, blow dry the hair a little bit first to stretch it or twist it before you apply the jelly, guess what? Your hair is not going to recoil as much. If you do a damp hair application of the jelly, as opposed to a soaking wet application, you will get more length from your wash and go than if you were to do it soaking wet. If you do a twist out with the jelly, you're going to get more length. So it has nothing to do with the product per se and more to do with the application process. And here is the science behind what I'm talking about. If you apply jelly to soaking wet hair, especially type 4 hair, when the hair is wet, the hair shaft expands because it's taken up a lot of water. As the hair dries, it shrinks. You apply gel to soaking wet hair, guess what? It eventually dries and shrinks up. There's no amount of gel that you can put on your hair that is going to keep that hair stretched, okay? However, if you apply gel to damp hair that is, let's say, already pre-stretched, because gels don't get absorbed into the hair, they sit on top of the hair and they clump the hair strands together, you'll get a more stretched look to your wash and go or your twist out than if it's applied to soaking wet hair. I also find that a more concentrated application, especially with this gel right here, that has a high amount of humectants, will result in softer moisturized hair. Furthermore, if you are using a leave-in product, the purpose of a leave-in product underneath the gel is to make the hair soft underneath the gel, moisturized underneath the gel, because the gel is a seal. Think of the gel as a seal. It's going to seal in what is underneath the gel. So if your hair is dry underneath the gel, unless you're in a really high humidity environment, your hair is not going to be moisturized, not going to be super moisturized, unless the gel formula has humectants in it like this one does, which is going to attract moisture to the hair. So there is a science behind the creation of these products. If you are trying to moisturize and soften the hair underneath the gel, right, you have to allow that product to dry into the hair. I'm just finding that if you do wet, so the conditioner or the moisturizer goes on wet, the gel goes on wet, your hair is not going to result in being very soft. Compared to if you allow the hair butter, for example, to dry in completely so it's clear, then you apply the gel on top, it's a whole different story. Okay, so let us take a look at the gels. So we've got over here, we've got the regular gel, Curl Define Jelly. I know it's kind of hard to see, everyone. I apologize. The Max right here. And then the light is light enough to be in a pump. Now, some people have asked, just regarding the gel, like if it comes in a pump and why it doesn't come in a pump like the regular gel. It's because the viscosity is too high. It's too thick. So it can't be pumped out. And so that's why it's in a jar. It's way too thick. So let's take a look at the difference between all gels. This is now the Max Gel. This is the Light Gel. And this is the regular gel. So as you can see, as we get thicker in terms of the product, you got the light gel that's pretty much see-through, right? You've got so this is the light gel. This is the regular gel. See that? And this is the glue-like Max Gel. Yes, it's like glue. Now, the texture can be a little bit off-putting for some people. They're like, I don't know how to use this. You can spread it. I don't want to spread it in my hands right now, but you can grab it, spread in your hands and apply it to your hair. This needs to be spread. Okay. Or you can dilute it with some water, but look at this. This is like, it's glue. So it is going to just really clump those curls together, which is what you want. So max, regular, and light. Okay. So they have different curl clumping abilities, and with the max gel being the, having the highest clumping ability. All right. So someone asked if the oil is ideal for itchy scalp. Yes, but, ooh, that gets me into the next product. Oh, the Perfectly Twisted. Oops, the poor Perfectly Twisted. I forgot about that product. The Perfectly Twisted is a styling cream. It's kind of like, it's a cream gel. So it has oils and butters in it. And this is what that looks like right there. So that's the Perfectly Twisted right here. It's a styling cream. So goopy, but it's moisturizing. And so what I tend to do with the Perfectly Twisted is I will use this in the wintertime. So I typically will use the Perfectly Twisted in conjunction with my gel. So I do the Perfectly Twisted first for moisture, because again, I'm layering on, right? So I use the hair butter, Perfectly Twisted, and then I use the gel for a little bit of extra hold. The Perfectly Twisted is a cream gel. It has more of a medium hold. So I would say it's more hold than the light jelly, but maybe not as much as the regular gel, but each person's experience with the product is very different, right? But that's the Perfectly Twisted. All right, so scalp care, we've got the Trichotherapy product, which is a serum. So some people think this is an oil. This is a serum. And this is more of a quote unquote treatment-based product to address itchy scalp. So if your scalp is itchy, like, you would want to use the Scalp Renewal Complex. So this is going to exfoliate the scalp. It's going to calm itching. It's going to calm inflammation. It's going to help to rebalance the scalp microflora. And it's really going to help to kind of repair, dare I say, the scalp tissue. But the main purpose is for it to soothe an itchy scalp. Now, anecdotally, people have said that it helps with growth, but there are no, aside from coconut water, which can help stimulate cell division and cell growth. There are no ingredients specific for growth, but a side benefit has been growth. We are, again, developing a product specific for it, but once you heal the scalp and you calm inflammation, growth is going to happen. So this is what this product does. So if you were using this product in conjunction with the scalp oil, this is a serum, so it would go on first, and then your scalp oil would go on after, because it's your oil-based product. It's got peppermint oil. It soothes the scalp. It's amazing. And then other products are refreshing mist. You know, I like the refreshing mist. I don't use it. I'm going to tell you from the product line what I love and what I don't love. I do not love this product for my hair. I mean, people, not to say it's a bad product, just for my hair, I don't use it. I'll use it on my daughter's hair. If I'm refreshing their hair, I'll use it instead of water because it adds some humectancy to their hair, but I don't use it because I don't refresh my curls with water. I refresh with steam. I don't do water refreshes because they make my hair dry, because I have high porosity hair. So when I refresh with water, my hair is going to lose water. Right? So I don't refresh with water. I do a steam refresh. My hair feels nice and moisturized after steam. So I don't use this product at all, but I did create it to refresh curls, and that is what it's meant to do, or kind of like a souped up water. I mean, people love it. I don't love it. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm being very honest. I don't use it. I don't find use for it in my regimen, but a lot of people do find use for it in their regimen, where they can refresh their hair, or they can use it in place of water if they're like spraying the refreshing mist and then adding more butter or something to their hair. So, but I don't use it at all. So with that, I'm going to set up the phone lines. I know I've gone over today, but I want to give people that are on the phones an opportunity to ask their questions and answer them. So just give me a couple of minutes to set this stuff up. Okay, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I am just going through some of the comments and I'm just going to make sure that I address everything and then I'll take the callers. If you called in before, please call in again or use the URL to call in if you'd like to. And I just got to take that down. Okay, so AJ, can you hear me? If you're muted, unmute yourself. Okay. Are you there? Okay. I'll just wait for them to come back on. In the meantime, though, I am going to, some people were on and then they left. So come back on again. I'm just going to look. I'm just looking through the comments. Actually, I do have a caller here. Oh. Okay, so whoever's on right now, can you hear me? I don't see a name. Hello, hello. I don't see a name, but you're on. Phone number ending in 46.
Hello.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Hi, my name is Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. Ooh, whoops. That's my fault. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, that's Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. Can everybody hear Elaine?
I'm watching you, I'm watching on the live feed, so I can actually hear you, but I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
I can hear you.
So I wanted to ask, hi.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you. Elaine, you can go ahead. I can hear you.
So I wanted to ask, I actually use your products now.
Mm-hmm.
So I came in for a hair consultation. And I started using the restorative mask. So I came in and I started using the hair mask, the restorative mask, the hair butter, and the perfectly twisted cream.
Mm-hmm.
So I find, though, that sometimes when I'm combing through my hair, I sometimes still get like little knots. Is that normal?
You get knots. So they're saying that they can't hear you, Elaine. So I am going to. Sorry, hold on a second. Can you hear Elaine now, everybody? Can you speak up, Elaine?
You get knots.
Okay.
So, they're saying that they can't hear you, Elaine. So I am going to.
So if you could just turn me down in the background.
Can you speak up, Elaine? Hi, it's Elaine speaking.
Perfect. Can you turn me down in the background? So turn the broadcast volume down just because there's a little bit of an echo. So I can hear you better now. Go ahead.
If you could just turn me down in the background. Hi, it's Elaine. Background, so turn the broadcast volume down just because there's a little bit of an echo. So I can hear you better now. Go ahead. Okay, so I just wanted to know if I still get knots, why does that happen?
So you're still getting knotting in your hair from like tangling?
Okay, so I just wanted to know if I still get knots,
Elaine?
why does that happen? So you're still getting knotting in your hair?
Yes.
From, like tangling?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you wear your hair?
So I just wanted to know if I still get Elaine?
Yes.
Knotting in your hair? Yes. Like tangling?
Yes.
Okay, so how do you wear your hair?
My hair, I wear my hair in a twist out.
You wear your hair in a twist out. Do you just use hair butter or do you use anything to kind of seal, like do you use gel?
I wear my hair in a twist out.
You wear your hair in a twist out. Do you just use hair butter or do you use anything to kind of seal, like do you use gel?
No, I just use the hair butter. I let that dry. Then I dampen my hair and then use the perfectly twisted cream.
Anything to kind of seal,
Okay, now when you
No, I just use the hair butter.
sorry, there's just feedback.
I let that dry. Then I dampen my hair and then use the perfectly twisted cream.
Okay. So
Okay, now when you
it's really weird because I'm hearing feedback. Can you just turn me down in the background? I'm sorry. Okay, so when you use the Perfectly Twisted, because the Perfectly Twisted contains a styling product, a styling polymer, so your hair should really seal your hair together and clump it together. So you shouldn't have any knots unless your hair looks like a afro. So unless there's not a lot of definition. If your hair doesn't have a lot of definition, sorry, then you're going to get knotting as the hair is tangling on each other. So how does your hair look after you do your twist out?
your hair has doesn't have a lot of definition, then you're going to get knotted. So how does your hair look after?
Hello?
So it's not as defined as yours.
Okay, does it look more like an afro?
Hello?
Hi, does it look more like an afro? Like,
Yes.
okay, so the more definition you have and the more separation of your hair and the more sealing, like if it looks like this, the less knotting
Yes,
you're
it
going to
does.
get. Yeah, the less knotting you're going to get, right? The less definition you get, the more knotting you're going to get because the hair just tangles on each other, especially if you have type 4 hair. The other thing too is you want to make sure that your hair is properly detangled. Either after you put the hair butter in. So once you apply the hair butter, you want to detangle the hair, apply the Perfectly Twisted, and then twist your hair. So you want to detangle all the way from the scalp to the ends. Okay, does that help?
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. Okay, I am going to just look at some of these questions. I've started a steam refresh. Can't believe the difference it's made. Thank you for teaching that. You're very welcome. Glad the information was helpful. Someone asked if the oil is for itchy scalp. Yes, that oil can be used for itchy scalp. So we're talking about the scalp oil that can be used for itchy scalp. Okay. Yeah. Let me see here. Gail, I'm going to add you. With the hydrating conditioner as a leave-in, can I still use the moisturizing products and gel after that? Okay, so this is a very good question. So if you're using the hydrating conditioner as a leave-in, there's no need to use hair butter after that. You would just go straight to gel. So your hydrating conditioner, the function of it is to soften the hair underneath the jelly. Okay, so that's the reason that you're using it. And you would use that over the hair butter, for example, because in the summer, you don't really need super, super, super moisturized hair if you're using the jelly, because the gels have enough humectants in them to allow your hair to be moisturized. If you have hair that's too moisturized in the summer, it ends up being frizzy, which is what you don't want. So in order to get a softness underneath the gel, you're going to use the hydrating conditioner. So that's why you'd use that, but no hair butter, no need for that. So Shula, you said you have the same problem after a few days. I'm not sure what problem that is, so you can let me know and I can definitely answer your question. All right. Okay. Anika says, I'm thinking about using your product. I'm going to make my order this week. I have a problem. My hair front is thin. What can I do? So that depends on the cause of the thinning. So you can definitely give us a call or send us an email through our customer service, and I can definitely help, or someone can assist in trying to get to why that might be happening. But the thinning just depends on many different factors. Like it could be traction alopecia, it could be female pattern hair loss. I don't know, right? I'm just kind of throwing things out there, so I don't know why. So what you can do will just depend on the cause. All right. Elaine, no problem. Elaine said she was having technical difficulties. That is okay. All right. So I've got another call now. Hi there. What's your name? Hello. ending in 35. Number ending in 35. Hello, I don't see a name here, but I see a phone number ending in 35. So you can,
Hello?
yes, hi there. You can ask your question. Hi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi there. Phone number ending in 35.
Yes, I've
Yes.
been getting. I used the Max Gel and got a lot of flaking.
Yes. So tell me how you used it, because definitely did a whole webinar on that, so you can view that when you have a chance. But tell me how you use the Max Gel.
And then I had to.
So how did you apply it?
I applied it on. I used the. I used the gel. I used the butter and then the gel. But I
No, I'm listening. You can go ahead.
I didn't I so it was on wet hair. I didn't wait for it to dry. I didn't wait for it to dry. I do it on wet hair because not super wet hair either, like on damp hair.
Okay. Did you wait for the butter to dry in? Did you wait for the hair butter to dry in before you apply the gel?
No, how long does that take?
It takes a day. So it's kind of like you apply the hair butter, you allow it to dry in completely, so there should be no white. The hair butter gets absorbed into the hair completely, and then you apply the jelly. Hello?
Well, that's a bit much. Given that people are busy these days, I'm looking for something that, like I did that when I used the regular gel, and I didn't really have much flaking.
Yeah, the products are two different products. So if you want the best results, right, and not the flaking, and you want to use the butter, then you'd want the butter to dry in completely. If you don't want to use the butter, you can always try the hydrating conditioner instead of the hair butter. But definitely, I find you get best results by allowing the butter to dry in, or you can use less butter. But definitely wet, 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 wet does not necessarily result in the best look, the best finish. So, they're two different products. So if the regular gel works for you with respect to not allowing the butter to dry in, you can continue to use that, but they're two different products. So the use case is going to be different.
Okay. So that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So then I went back to using the regular gel.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to using the regular gel and allowed it to dry for a day, and I got flaking with that.
Okay. So did you apply the jelly to wet hair or damp hair? Like after the butter was applied?
Wet hair.
So you soaked the hair. Okay.
So now I just don't know what else to do. I wound up just wetting my hair totally and redoing it again. I redid it again, and it seemed to be fine.
Yeah. So if you applied, okay, so there's so many different reasons for flaking. One of them could be if you're using the regular gel, because the way a gel works is it forms a film on top of the hair. It doesn't get absorbed into the hair, it forms a film. So if the film is not strong enough and you apply it to the hair, you could get flaking. You could get flaking if you have an incompatible leave-in, which is why I'm saying on certain hair types and textures, especially if you have low porosity hair, you'd want to allow that butter to dry into the hair first. Perhaps the butter won't work well for you with the gel on your hair. Perhaps it's the moisture milk. So there's so many different reasons. If you got flaking on wet hair, I find also that trying the application on damp hair can sometimes make a difference. So there's so many different reasons for it and so many different ways we can troubleshoot. So if you found that you allowed the butter to dry in and then you did soaking wet and got flaking, try it on damp hair. Try applying the jelly on damp hair rather than soaking wet. Hello?
Okay, I'll try that and see.
Okay, and
Okay,
you can,
thank you.
you're welcome. And you can also, like I said, give us a call and I can ask you a little bit more questions about, how you're using it and maybe troubleshoot a little bit deeper. We can definitely do that. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Vendia asks, after using the butter, is it best to let the hair dry before using the gel? But when applying the gel, do you need to wet the hair again? See, if using the butter, I find the best way, especially if you tend to get flaking with doing everything wet. So wet butter, wet gel, and it just flakes. I find to allow that moisturizing, that cream-based moisturizer to dry into the hair completely first. And then what I do is I just take a spray bottle, I mist a section with water to make it damp, and then I apply the gel on top. So I don't soak the hair, right? I apply the gel on top of just a little bit of water. So I make it damp. Does the moisture milk need to dry completely before using the gel? You know what? That's a good question. I find that the moisture milk and the gel tend to be a little bit more compatible because there are not so many conditioning agents in the moisture milk as there are in the hair butter, right? The hair butter is definitely a product that sits on top of the hair more just because it is more conditioning, and it's meant to be more conditioning because of the particular hair type and texture that it's used for. So I find the moisture milk, you don't have to do that as much. So if you find, right, and it's a good point, that you're using the hair butter and you're getting flaking or balling with the jelly, try the moisture milk as another alternative, or even the hydrating conditioner. The hydrating conditioner is a completely different formula. It has conditioning agents too, but I find it's a thinner, more spreadable product, and it can be a little bit more compatible underneath the jelly. So there are a bunch of different options for you if you're finding that using the jelly, you're not getting the result that you're looking for. But in general, I just find that, and I've used it so many different ways, the wet application just doesn't work for some hair types and textures. It doesn't work for me. And so what I do is I allow butter to dry in if I'm using the butter, and then I apply the gel on top, and I have no issues. If you do find that the hair still flakes a little bit, then water. It's a water soluble product. The water will dissolve the balls or flakes a little bit, and that will definitely help. If you find you're getting a lot of flaking too, it might be that you apply too much product, which is one of the reasons why if you need to apply a lot of the regular gel to get curl definition, you might want to go to the Max Jelly because it's such a more concentrated product. You can get the same result with less product. The more products you apply on your hair, the more gel you apply on your hair, the more flaking you can get. So again, it just depends on your hair type, texture, and how you want your hair to look. If I want super definition like this, I use the Max Gel and I don't get the flaking, but I don't have to use as much as of the regular jelly to get the same definition. And the more jelly I use on my hair, the more flaking I'm going to get. And that's just with any kind of polymer. The more you use, the more flaking you're going to get. So these are just all things to consider when using the product. Okay, so I am just looking to see if there are any more comments and questions. Thank you all for sticking with me. And I don't see any more calls. There were a few earlier, but I know it's late, so everyone probably went to bed. Okay, so that is it. Restorative hair mask is great. And this is a good point, a restorative hair mask is great for hair that's turning gray, which is usually very dry. So thank you. That's a really good tip. Yes, gray hair tends to be drier. It lacks that melanin, so it tends to be drier. So using the restorative hair mask can definitely help. Okay, with low porosity hair, how often should you wash your hair? It just depends. I like to wash my hair every 2 weeks or when I'm able to wash it. If you have scalp issues, then you probably want to wash your hair more frequently than someone that doesn't have scalp issues. So it just depends on your scheduling. But with low porosity hair, it doesn't matter. Low, high, doesn't matter. It's just about when you're able to wash it and if you have any scalp concerns that would cause you to need to wash your hair more frequently. So I think that I've made it through all questions. Someone had asked earlier if the products are for wavy hair. Absolutely. If you have wavy hair, you can use the products. I find that my wavy hair clients will go for the coconut moisture milk. They'll go as a leave-in moisturizer. They'll go for the hydrating conditioner. They'll go for the light jelly. Some wavies will also use the max and regular jelly. It just depends. There are quite a few hairdressers that will use the products on wavy hair and they use the regular gel, but they'll do it super wet. So absolutely, you can use the deep conditioners, just as long as the wavy hair doesn't get too weighed down with a lot of oils and butters, because they are very, very, very hydrating products. All right. Thank you for the details and information. You're very welcome. Thank you, everyone. So thank you for joining in. If you have any questions after the live that you think of, please email info@earthtonesnaturals.com. And I will be glad to respond. One of us will be glad to respond, either myself or any of our consultants. We'll definitely be glad to respond. And thank you, everyone. Everyone have a great night. I know we went late, but thank you. Have a great night. And I'll see you on the next broadcast. Oh, just looking to see. Can you share a phone number? Oh, yes. Yes. So if you want to call our customer service line, it's 866-989-9972. So 866-989-9972. Oh, sorry. I just have one more person call in. So phone number ending in 03. You're on. Oh, no, you're not. Okay. Maybe that was by mistake. Okay, everyone. Have a great night. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.